I've never really had a watch collection, and while I've had at least some sort of watch for the past years, I've never been interested in any expensive watches. Since getting my Casio F105W as a Christmas gift in 2025, I've somewhat fallen back into the rabbit hole of watches again. But as I'm still going to be cheap, my therapist suggests I use the word frugal. So being as frugal as I am, always looking for a good deal on something that just works, and not caring about branding most of the time, I've obviously purchased items such as watches from Aliexpress in the past. Now I've gone and done it again. While searching the rabbit hole of inexpensive digital watches, I came across the Skmei brand on Aliexpress, a brand that tends to make a lot of homage watches, especially for Casio models. They caught my eye with models such as the Skmei 1412, a watch very similar to the F91W, but at around $10 Canadian, it was only a third of the cost of what the Casio would cost at the local Wally World. After perusing Skmei's other options, I ended up grabbing this, the model 2347 in the black colorway. I paid for this with my own money, and this video is not sponsored. Though if Skmei would like to send some watches over, I wouldn't say no to making some more videos. Other color options are also available, along with another model with a metal bracelet instead of this resin strap. But I chose this one in particular since black is my favorite color, and this already had a negative display, saving me the hassle of inverting it myself with a polarizing filter. The negative display, while not as effortless to read as the positive display on my Casio, was still easy enough to tell the time on in most lighting situations and at most angles. Initially I had thought the backlight was a bit disappointing, as it was barely noticeable in the lighting I was in, but I was quite impressed once I saw it in the dark. While it's not quite as bright as the electroluminescent light on the likes of the Casio F105W or A168W, the Skmei still has a beautiful EL light of its own that evenly lights all segments on the display. There's a few reasons why I decided to go with this model over the others I was looking at. I personally really liked the multi-display design that shows the date along with both digital and analog style clocks, though the negative display can make the thin analog clock hands hard to see unless viewed straight on. And talking about straight, the analog dial isn't actually centered within the frame, and now you can't unsee it. Lots of people consider this a clone of the Casio LF20W, but a bit larger, and I would agree. Though with the mid-frame dividing the LCD display as opposed to the simple lines, I personally think that this watch looks a tiny bit better, which of course is subjective. The case is slim and light, at just over 10mm in thickness, making it very comfortable to wear even with my smaller 6-inch wrist. Though it doesn't quite disappear as much as my F105W. For a small watch, there are quite a lot of features packed in. Honestly, more than I really needed or wanted. Pressing mode will cycle through world time, alarm, timer, stopwatch, then back to home time, with a distinct beep to find your way even without looking. While this watch does have 5 alarms and world time for 48 cities with independent daylight savings time settings, it was the countdown timer that I was missing most while wearing more basic watches like the Casio. The beeper was pretty loud, even to use as an alarm. Unfortunately, unlike the real Casio, the small circular window in the top right does not animate with the stopwatch or timers. Instead, the animation is based on a pattern of which of the segments making up the last digit are lit. Some other negatives about the watch would be the acrylic crystal, which seems a bit softer than something like a Casio, and mine scratched on the first day of wearing it. The strap was also a little stiff at first, and took a few days to form more comfortably around my wrist, and is also too long and sticks out far too much. Though this last point is relative and those with larger wrists shouldn't find this to be an issue. Replacing the strap on this watch may be a bit trickier since it's only 17mm across. Though I actually have other plans for this watch, including attempting to fix the strap length issue. These plans are a big part of why I went with something more budget-friendly, in case something goes wrong. But modding this watch will be a separate video, so subscribe and stay tuned if you'd like to see how that turns out. Do you have any experience with clone brands such as Skmei, or does the branding really matter to you? Let me know down in the comments, and now that I'm finished with this review video, I can finally take this apart. See you in the next one.